Hi, it's Emma from Make and Fable, and in this top tip video I'm going to show you how to use fold over ends. Sometimes these are called cord ends, ribbon ends, box clasps, envelope clasps. They've got many names, but they are designed to end a cord of varying thicknesses and give you a loop which you can then attach to earrings, a clasp, or whatever to turn your cord into a functioning piece of jewellery. So these are the Magic 8 earrings, which are the bonus project in the Figure 8 Out necklace kit. And we use a fold over end to end the cord coming out the top of the earring and attach to our fish hook. I'm going to show you the best way to close these. So I'm going to be using quite a thick, chunky cord. So this is the same cord used on these. So it is a sort of 4mm cord, which looks like it's going to be far too chunky to fit in this fold over end, but I assure you it's not. You're also going to need a pair of chain nose pliers. So these are your standard jewellery pliers that are flat and smooth on the inside. And my top tip for using fold over ends easily is to actually have a bit of excess cord and to lay it over the loop rather than trying to get the end perfectly inside. It's very difficult to do that and hold on to it. But if you place a bit more cord than you need inside like this, it means that you can hold on to that loop and the end of the cord. So it gives you something to hold on to whilst you squash your cord end. So we've got these two flaps here, and I will start with the one nearest to me, and I'm using probably the midpoint of my chain nose pliers to begin to push it over. So as with a lot of things in jewellery making, it's about lots of little movements rather than one or two large ones. So I'm gently pushing it down. I'm not going all the way yet. Now, to do the other side, you've got a couple of options depending on what's going to feel easiest for you. You can either reach over and push it down from the same side, which is often easier than picking something up and putting it down. But if that feels odd to you, just flip it round and flatten from the same side. So what you're looking for at this point, it's not completely flattened, is that each side is gripping onto your cord, and you want to make sure that they're kind of equal at this point. They may be touching, they may be even overlapping, depending on your cord. Because this is quite chunky, they're probably never going to meet in the middle, and that's fine. Once you're happy, squish one side down, and then again I turn it round. So even though there is a little bit of cord visible in the middle, that is still really secure. To cut off your cord, you're going to need a pair of cutters. I'm using a pair of flush cutters. You can just use standard jewellery cutters though for this one. And you've got to be super careful that you don't cut that loop off. So using the flat underside of your cutters, so I've got my cutters upside down, I'm going to come in as close as I can. So I'm pulling the bit that I want to get rid of underneath, but I'm making sure that I'm not cutting that loop off. Once I'm happy that I'm as tight and as close up as I can get it, cut. There'll be a tiny bit coming out, but not much at all. This is now ready to add onto your fish hook if you're making earrings, or add a clasp or jump rings, whatever you wanted, onto the end of there. Now, if you've got a thinner thread, so this is a 1mm cord that I've got here, if I lay that inside my fold over end, it kind of looks like it's too thin, it's not going to work. And whilst you can just lay this in here and it would probably hold. What I recommend is actually doubling the end over by folding your cord in half so that you've now got a double thickness. Again, poke it over the end so that it overlaps the loop. Ooh, overlaps the loop like this. So you have got something to hold on to. Again, we're going to cut this off afterwards, and you'll have a little bit of extra tail coming down here. Try and make sure that they are next to one another rather than on top of one another. And again, flatten the side closest to you, but not all the way. Flatten the other one, and then squash. That provides a much better, more secure grip than if you were just putting the one end in there. And again, you come in with your cutters, exactly the same as before, using that flat side, holding the loop tight as you can and cutting, and then we're just going to cut this end off as well. I hope you found this video on how to use fold over ends useful. I do also have a blog post which goes through it step by step with photos and written words if that is easier for you. So I will link that in the description below.